Howdy, I'm Jace. I have sex addiction and I work with a whole lot of other people who do too. Yeah, but that's just an excuse for bad behavior, right? Wrong. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, so stick around. But before we get there, make sure to subscribe to support this channel so we can continue making free resources for all who need them. And stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to be giving you some more free resources that are going to help if you are working to free yourself from addiction. Or maybe you love someone who is trying to do that. One of the big reasons that there is this big resistance to categorizing sex as an area of addiction is because people think that it is used as an excuse for bad behavior. Well, family, that has been said for every area of addiction before it's been accepted by society. It's not an excuse. Addiction is actually a condition that has certain symptoms that go with it. And if things are in line with what we understand from science to be addiction, then they're addiction, okay? Is it an excuse for bad behavior? No, it just explains it. And then we get to do something about it. So that's the really cool thing with when we understand something. Then we have the awareness, then we can be proactive about it as individuals, people in recovery, and also as a society. Because I know it would be really, really cool to just be like, that's them. I don't have that issue, so I don't have to worry about it. Well, that's kind of like, let's say you have a pristine house and your yard is perfect and you've got your garden and you got your gnomes out there and you always keep everything so beautiful. And it's just this picture perfect home and you really have invested a lot in it. And then your neighbor's house catches fire and burns yours down. Does that matter at all that you had your gnomes and it was picture perfect and you did such a good job taking care of it? No, because what happens to our neighbors, to our brothers and sisters out here in the world, affects us. We don't live in a vacuum. We do not live in a way that is unaffected by others. And here in 2021, after the year we just had, that should be more clear than ever. Whether we like it or not, we are in this together. We all thrive, or none of us do. Because you can't be outside of society. You can't be outside of the system. Believe me, I've looked into it. It sounds really nice. It's not possible. So we have to start looking at what ails the members of our society so that we can heal as a society. Now I'm talking about a global society. I'm talking about the human race, the species of humanity, right? And for that reason, for all of us to thrive, we have to look at these areas of struggle and suffering, and sex addiction is one of them, because how it interacts with the brain, because of what we know is going on with the brain and with the past and with the behaviors of these folks. Now you can check out my other video on if sex addiction is real to get a little bit more of the science behind it. But continuing to just completely disregard this very real area of the human condition is a whole lot like when we were kids. And we would be like this, right? Can't see me, can't see you. If I can't see you, if I'm not looking, then you can't see me. Then it's not there. If I just don't look at that thing, it's not there, right? We put our blinders on, and if we just don't look at it, it's not present. It doesn't exist. But the thing is, it does exist. And we know enough about it now where there's just no question about it. So we can either continue being children and pretending it's not a thing, or we can grow up as a society and look at it. And yeah, it's weird and kind of gross sometimes, and it can be scary, and it can go to the deepest, darkest parts of humanity. And it's real, and it's happening. So we can look at it and all of the solutions there are to deal with it, because guess what? There are a lot of them. Or we can continue living in our bubble, letting our brothers and sisters suffer, that thus brings suffering into the society that you and I are living in as well. And we can all just continue to limp along and focus on me and mine, getting mine first. And yet, As the neighborhood burns down, your house is going too. So wouldn't it be a lot cooler to look at the fire hazards in your neighborhood and help deal with them to ensure that your neighbors are safe and that you're safe too, and that that beautiful house that you've put so much work into, with that wonderful garden, that abundant, amazing, bright, beautiful garden with your gnomes and your flowers and your white picket fence and all of these picture perfect things, stay that way. And you get to live in a neighborhood of happy, healthy people with beautiful, pristine homes with gardens and the gnomes, and maybe there are fairies in them. I don't know. Do you want to live with just your house being the nicest one on the block while everything else is trash? Or do you want to live in a beautiful community of people who look out for each other and take care of each other, and everyone's garden is abundantly thriving, that there is more than enough for everyone? It might not be fair, and it's not. It's definitely not. But we are in this together, and we can thrive together, or we can continue surviving individually. We can live in a beautiful neighborhood with happy, healthy people, or we can continue pointing at how pretty our house is. It's not fair, but it's the truth. And we each, yes, you watching this video, not the elusive royal you, but you watching this video, and me, we get to decide in our daily lives and actions and choices the world we want to live in by creating it within ourselves and bringing that into our communities and into our world. And we're not talking about it yet because there's still so much stigma around it, but sex addiction, the area of sex as addiction, is one of the most widespread. You think the porn industry is blowing up and thriving from a few people, from the thems, that just weirdo few over there? No ma'am, no sir. This is a very real thing. It is a very common thing. And if we don't start looking at it, it's going to explode on all of us as adults and kids as well. This is a first step. If you're watching this, no, it's not just an excuse. Then every area of addiction is just an excuse, right? No. And it's not just bad behavior either. It's behavior that's resulting from things that we can actually study and we can actually deal with. So you can look more on this channel to get more information about sex addiction. We do it science-based and spirit-led. You can head to my website, jacedowney.com, or read one of the dozens of books that's out there, or hundreds of articles online, or check out some of the centers. Like, this is a big thing that we're just not talking about publicly, but there's a lot of information and there are a lot of resources. And stick around, because I'm about to offer you a free one right at the end of this video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming with an open mind and an open heart. I know this stuff is weird, and we've got to deal with it together. And we can't continue being children with our blinders anymore. We got to grow up, and we totally can. We're totally capable of doing it. I hope that you'll join me in whatever capacity you feel welcome and feel comfortable with, to help us live in that beautiful, pristine, healthy, happy neighborhood together. I love you a ton. You are worth a beautiful life. You are worth that abundant garden, whether it's yours alone or the one you're helping create in the world. I'll see you next time.
Hello again. Today's resource is for anyone who is a partner of someone with sex addiction, or maybe a loved one for someone who has sex addiction. I know for me, having been on both sides of this, that information can be incredibly helpful and incredibly healing as well, which is why I want to offer you my Introduction to Sex Addiction course for free. I'm hoping that with some insider knowledge on what sex addiction is and what it isn't, and that it has nothing to do with you, the partner, or the loved one, that you'll be able to gain some healing ground as a person connected to someone with sex addiction, which I know is not a fun role to play. You can enter in promo code PARTNERS at checkout by following the link in the description for the course below. And I really hope it can be helpful to you.